welcome back to Fight Week here on BT Sport. We're in the Yas Mall, Abu Dhabi, where we've just witnessed the open workouts for UFC 280. I'm Adam Cattrall, this is Nick Pete, and I think it's only fair that we give you a little bit of an update as all the things that we've seen throughout the course of the week as we build up toward the more stacked card of the year. Now, we've seen them do a little bit of showcasing for the fans. There's nothing really to take from the open workout as to game plans and all that type of carry on. We can actually maybe put a little bit of information towards our audience is where from the things that we've seen throughout the course of the week, because we managed to sit down with all of these fighters. Let's start with the main event, shall we, first and foremost. Vacant lightweight world title. Charles Oliveira taking on Islam Makhachev. Big pop for Islam Makhachev, of course, and also a big pop for Charles Oliveira. People out here fully respect what he is all about, and they respect him as a legitimate champion.
Yeah, listen, I think everybody on the planet realises that Charles Oliveira is the most exciting fighter in this sport today. Not only is he on this incredible winning run in the lightweight division, not only is he the uncrowned, he's really the champion, the uncrowned champion, but when he's in these fights, winning these fights, forcing stoppages in these fights, he's also getting hit and dropped, and that's what makes him so entertaining. So I think the fans responded to that. You know, obviously Islam, big support over here. The Russians, this is their party. You know, they come to the Middle East all the time to party, so they're well versed on being here. But with Charles, I love the way he just tapped in there to this crowd. He said, listen, I'm doing this for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Bear in mind, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is on the school curriculum here in Abu Dhabi. I like that one. I like
Absolutely,
it.
And he gave us a full demonstration as well during the open workout of about 1 million different types of submission. Yeah. So expect some of that on Saturday night. Listen, I want to give you some information as to some of those interviews that you've already witnessed on BT Sport this week. We've spoken to Islam, we've spoken to Charles. I'm going to start with Islam first and foremost. Very calm, very cool, very collected. I kind of like the fact that Khabib has taken a step back this week. Let Islam get out there, go on, you do your thing. He was here today, was Khabib, but he stayed away from holding the pads. He got up and had a picture done at the end, but he's letting Islam take the fore. And I think Islam's really coming into his own, really starting to shine. He's really starting to understand what it is like to be like the UFC champion.
Absolutely. Yeah. Did Khabib mention the billiards rematch, by the way? Or
no,
did he
he's running scared, man.
I thought he might. Yeah, he's terrified of you, Adam.
He's avoiding eye contact.
Of course he is, yeah. Do you know what? That has been one of my big takeaways this week, is how Islam Makhachev, who, let's be honest, he's never been at this level before. He's never beaten anybody in the upper echelons of this lightweight division. He's never been the main event in an event of this magnitude, a pay-per-view, a global title fight. And you know what? He's taken it in his stride. He looks absolutely sensational. Yeah. The interview you did with him, he looks cool, calm, relaxed. He doesn't need that crutch of Khabib to be there. He realises this is his moment, and whether he's got the experience or not, he looks like he's ready for the fight. That's the most important thing.
Absolutely. And in contrast, you've then got the other side. You've got Charles Oliveira, who's rolling deep with your stag do, mate.
It's incredible.
He's got about 40 odd lads.
Get me a bottle of bleach. I'm in.
Mate.
Honestly.
Could be arranged. Everybody's bleached their hair. They're walking around the fighter hotel with his boombox. It's a massive speaker system.
A boombox. Honestly, like Grandad.
Do you know, like, there's one guy in that team that is
in charge of the stereo.
His job is music. That's all it is.
Radio Raheem.
I love it. He's the hype man. That's what it is.
It.
He's carrying the speaker around. You can hear him coming a mile off. They are taking over the place. They are making this feel like a home fight for Charles. That big team effort. Everybody's involved with it.
Yeah, absolutely. As you say, there's about 25 of them rolling everywhere. They take over everywhere they go. You hear them coming before you see them coming. And I like that, because Charles Oliveira's, he's bringing some creature comforts. He's making it feel like he's at home, even though really he's like the visiting fighter, as I say. Islam, Khabib, they're treated like gods in this part of the world. So he's just brought a little bit of Brazil with him. They're making an awful lot of noise, and it's making him be comfortable.
Yeah.
And Charles Oliveira, as a happy fighter, as we've seen recently, the guy is this is a guy that was on an incredible losing skid a few years ago. Now he's on this 10-11 fight winning run, looks absolutely untouchable in this, well, maybe he isn't untouchable, but unbeatable, let's say. And he's just grown into the role of not only a champion, but a pay-per-view star. He's a star.
Yeah. Given what you've seen, given what you've heard, given what you listened to this week, we both at the start of the year said that Islam Makhachev would be the lightweight champion come the end of 2022,
Correct.
Right? We both said coming into this fight that this might not be the time because Charles Oliveira is too good.
Yeah.
Has your mind changed from anything you've seen this week?
It did yesterday.
And then you saw Charles Oliveira today?
Correct. When I seen Islam yesterday, I was so convinced. I thought, right, this kid's ready. This guy is absolutely ready. But then when I seen Charles today and how happy he is and how big he is as well, like what's up blew me away with Islam? He looks massive. How the heck he makes 155, I'll never know. But then you see Charles and you're like, geez, he's huge
big,
as well.
yeah.
So the two absolutely massive guys, I think you've got at the moment, they're so close. It's such a close fight. You've just got to go with experience. You've got to go with the guy that's been there, done it, and wore the t-shirt. And for me, that's Charles Oliveira still.
The big question is can Islam Makhachev be perfect? I think he has to be perfect to win the fight. Because any opportunity given to Charles Oliveira, he can take you out anywhere.
For 25 minutes as well.
That's the thing. That's the key thing from the main event. Co-main event. Woo-hoo-hoo. Bantamweight title on the line for this bad boy. Aljamain Sterling strutting around. He's got the gold chains on. He's really embracing the culture. We've seen him in all the get-up and what have you. TJ Dillashaw is just running by himself.
Yeah.
Rolling around the hotel all by himself. Yeah, okay, he's had to answer some tough questions. I'm sure you've seen that on BT Sport. But he's fronting it. He's taking it all in his stride. He got a nice little pop today from the crowd. They gave him a little bit of something. This is really the way that these two men have carried on this week. I have been swayed with the way that I think that this might play out. I was all team Aljamain Sterling. Don't get me wrong. Aljo's not done anything to make me change my mind. But TJ has. Just the way that he is absolutely lasered in, zoned in for this opportunity at redemption.
I think the other powerful thing with TJ Dillashaw as well is he feels like the world's against him.
Yeah.
He feels like everybody out. That's why he came out here. The reason he got a pop is he was throwing merch everywhere. He was giving t-shirts away, caps away, you name it. Everyone was cheering because everybody wanted some free goodies. But I think that was a conscious thing to come out and try and win the fans over straight away. There's still that fear of being booed. Nobody wants to be booed. Everybody in this world wants to be loved in their own little way, shape and form. And I think that fear factor of coming out and being the villain, he knows he's the villain. He knows what he's done and he's owned what he's done.
Yeah.
And you've got to respect him for that at least. But I think he enters that octagon on Saturday night thinking, right, it's me against the world. And Aljamain walks, talks, looks like a champion. But he's already talking about other weight divisions. That's incredibly dangerous against someone like TJ Dillashaw, especially a motivated TJ Dillashaw.
Again, it's another tight fight. I'm only slightly starting to be swayed now towards TJ.
Yeah.
But having seen, every time I do that, I start thinking about the performance that Aljo put in against Petr Yan. And then I think to myself, don't be daft. He's absolutely in peak form right now.
Yeah.
Whereas TJ last time out against Sandhagen, did he not win?
Very close decision.
There's a question. Now then, here's the big one, the people's main event. I know that you're all excited about this because the guy is owning Abu Dhabi. Let's be straight. Sean O'Malley.
Sheikh O'Malley,
mate, he is Abu Dhabi. Yeah. He's fully embraced everything about the culture of the area, and he's got himself a tough fight in Petr Yan, of course. Petr Yan, he were on the sun loungers next to me a little earlier on this morning.
By the way,
I am working hard. I just got an hour off. I turn to my left-hand side and Petr Yan's there putting on the slip, slap, slop, having a whale of a time. Is he taking Sean O'Malley lightly?
If he is, I think he's in serious trouble. But I think more than that, I don't know whether he's taking O'Malley lightly, but I think he might be taking the 3 rounds lightly. You know, his last 5 fights have been over 5 rounds. Tough. 25 minutes inside the octagon is tough. I think he's thinking this one's a sprint, 15 minutes. He may have cut down the work he's done in a camp. He may be undervaluing the potential, how tough the fight might actually get, rather than O'Malley itself. But you're right. The Sugar Show is in town, man. And the Sugar Show is kind of here, taking over. Again, another guy with such star power. You know, if he can beat Petr Yan out here, especially because, as Petr Yan said, I've fought here twice before and won 2 belts here. This is not Yaz Island, this is Yan Island. So he's feeling very comfortable here. He's very happy here.
Yeah.
He's flown his wife and kids in. You know, he's in a good space mentally. But let's be honest, we all want the Sugar Show. Everyone wants the Sugar Show because you want to see what comes next.
Yeah, I get that.
Because he's got Conor McGregor. Listen, there's only one Conor McGregor, but he's got that kind of crossover mainstream potential.
I just love watching Yan fight, man. His feet are unbelievable. His boxing,
his
boxing's outstanding. But it would be tremendous to see Sean O'Malley live up to what everybody tells us that he is.
Yeah.
Now, whilst I was obviously sun lounging with Petr Yan, you were doing a bit of work.
That's a good special for BT Sport.
Sun lounging with Petr Yan. Listen, you went to the media day.
Correct.
You listened to further fighters giving their thoughts on fight week, a lot from the prelims as well. What are the main takeaways that you took from today?
I've got to be honest, the headliner of the prelims, Sean Brady versus Bilal Muhammad. Sean Brady undefeated in the welterweight division, a real rising star, sensational fighter. Bilal, very much a specialist. still talking about the loss to Leon Edwards. Says if he beats Sean Brady, he's next in line for Leon Edwards. Says he wants to come to London in March. If Kamaru Usman's not ready, he wants to make a statement against an unbeaten fighter. You know, when he's talking about the fact he's just beat Luque knocked him out a couple of years ago, and he thinks he's on a real tear. And he's got Khabib in his corner. He's joined the whole team. Islam, he's rolling with those guys, so he's incredibly confident. But Sean Brady could be something a little bit special, but there was needle there. Those two are going to fly at each other, believe me.
Listen, right, we're in the middle of the week. There's still a lot to come throughout the course of it. There's plenty of interviews for you to get excited about on the BT Sport YouTube channel. Friday morning, yes, I know this is early, right? Your time back in the UK, 5:45, make sure you come and join us. Because as we just said there are some serious narratives that could play out on Friday morning when these boys and girls hit the scales. There's a certain featherweight champion waiting in the wings, licking his lips, hoping slightly that there might be someone falling off from that main event so he gets a shot at pound for pound glory. I'm obviously referring to Alexander Volkanovski. So come and join us, 5:45 UK time, live on the BT Sport YouTube channel, and then Saturday night, prime time, baby. We ain't playing about. 5 p.m. is when it all gets underway. You can watch this, of course, on the BT Sport app. You can watch it on the YouTube channel as well. Make sure you come and join us for that. And then the main card gets going from 7 p.m. exclusive on BT Sport Box Office. For further details on that, head to bt.com/sportboxoffice. All the information you need is right there.